Hi, I'm Kate Bertram, author of Creating Stickiness. Let's start with a truth that might surprise you. Organizational leadership isn't about control. It's about creating the conditions where people can do their best work with purpose and clarity. If you want to build a sticky organization, a place where people stay, grow, and thrive, leadership isn't just important, it's everything. Leaders set the tone, they create the gravity, or they create the churn. So here's a blunt question. Do you have the right leaders? The ones who inspire, the ones who challenge, the ones who make people say, I want to be part of this? If you're unsure, you're not alone. But it's time for a serious gut check. Sticky leaders aren't mythical unicorns with capes. They're grounded, real, emotionally intelligent. They're people who align strategy with humanity. Here's what they do. They think strategically. Vision isn't a poster on a wall. They use it to lead. They make clear and timely decisions. No waffling, no drama, just solid direction. And they adapt. Change doesn't rattle them, it focuses them. They hold people accountable, including themselves. They're emotionally intelligent. They know when to push and when to pause. They resolve conflict directly and respectfully. They build trust with everyone at every level. They communicate like humans, clear, direct, no jargon. They grow people in themselves. And they live your values, even when no one's watching. These are the leaders who create cultures where people want to be part of, leaders who make teams stick. Now, let's talk about a harsh truth. There's a massive difference between being nice and being kind. Nice leaders, they want to be liked. They avoid conflict. They soften every edge and justify bad behavior for the sake of keeping the peace. And you know what that gets you? Frustrated top performers, a culture of mediocrity, and a team that wonders why hard work isn't rewarded. Kind leaders, they tell the truth with empathy. They coach, they challenge, they confront when needed. Kind leaders hold everyone accountable because they care enough to have hard conversations. They use feedback to drive growth. And yes, it's exhausting at times, but it builds trust, engagement, and retention. Sticky leaders are those kind leaders, not because it's easy, but because it works. Do you know what sticky leaders have in spades? Courage. They eliminate waste, not just in budgets, but in time and energy and emotional clutter. They protect their team's focus in a noisy, urgent world. They say no to wrong things so that they can say yes to what matters. They don't overtask high performers while coddling underperformers. And most importantly, they notice the room. They read tone, they read body language, and they feel energy. When tension brews or someone's checked out, they lean in instead of looking away. This kind of leadership is bold, it's human, and yes, it's emotionally expensive. But it creates fierce loyalty and performance that spreadsheets alone can't explain. I once worked with an organization over 60 years old, great mission, passionate people, but the place was overflowing with nice leaders. Nobody was brave enough to say, this isn't working. They dodged accountability with phrases like, the staff is tired. We're just putting out fires. We need more support from corporate. Translation, they were stuck. But no one was steering the ship. They filled roles with the warm body method. And guess what? That organization collapsed under the weight of its own excuses. Sticky leadership would have saved them. Here's the key. Compassion doesn't mean compromise. Sticky leaders are compassionate, but they coach struggling team members. They clarify expectations, they offer feedback, and when necessary, make tough calls. They fiercely protect morale by ensuring top performers aren't penalized by someone else's lack of accountability. They design workflows thoughtfully, and they protect time like the precious resource it is. So, how do you know if your leaders are truly sticky? Ask the people they lead. I'm a huge fan of the 360-degree feedback model. It's not just a survey, it's a mirror. Peers, direct reports, supervisors, even clients all provide valuable input. When done right, here's what you get: a balanced, comprehensive view of leadership impact, greater self-awareness for your leaders, and clear opportunities for growth, stronger trust that performance is assessed fairly. But here's the catch. It only works if it's safe, structured, and action-driven. No anonymous venting, no vague scorecards, just clear, respectful input tied to real growth. If you're serious about building a sticky organization, start with a hard look at your leadership team. Do they model your values? Do they create psychological safety? Are they aligned with your strategy, and are they developing people and delivering results? Kind leadership builds stickiness. It's intentional, courageous, people-centered, and deeply unapologetically human. I challenge you to look at your leaders. Have hard conversations, use feedback, build growth plans, because sticky organizations aren't built by chance. They're built by sticky leaders. Let's get to work. Let's build stickiness.